Hello and welcome to AutoCAD for Beginners. In this video, I'm going to be discussing basically two things. The first one is block attributes, which means attributes inside blocks, and the second thing is tables. So firstly, we'll discuss the block attributes. You see how we make sheets, and on the side of it we just enter our name, location, and etc, and we have to edit it every time that we form a new table. Well, we can create a block for it. I'm just going to show you how. For example, I'm just going to make a random block right over here. So I'm just going to name this using single line texts. So for example, I just created a block over here and I want to insert, block attributes in this. So for that, I'm just going to click on edit attributes. So in this, we just going to have to go to block, click on this define attributes button, and over here opens this weird window with the topic attribute definition. In this, we don't have to worry much about what we're gonna write in the tag because we are going to change it later anyways. So I'm just gonna say pro and gonna type the name here, project, The rest of the settings, for example, left justification, text style is annotative, text height is 6. I'm going to change 6 to say 10, and I'm just going to select on OK. And similarly, I'm going to place these attributes for everything. So here we have done this block over here, and now we just have to create this as a block. So I'm just going to click on create, name this block as block attribute, and select the base point. Say I'm just going to select this because I prefer this to be on the bottom right hand side of the sheet, so I'm just going to select this as a base point so it will be easier to move and place. I'm just going to select objects on the screen. So I recommend that you select the objects in an order first. So I'd go project, location, sheet, tutorial, 00, scale, and drawing number, and then you select all of it. That way your attributes, they are going to come in a sequence that you selected them and not just randomly. Now I'm just going to click on enter, and now I'm just going to click on OK. So now we have this edit attributes block here with the block name block attribute which we kept. So over here we can change the name of the project. For example, the project will be AutoCAD tutorial. The location would be ACAD. Sheet title would be blocks. Drawn by ACAD. Date, let's keep it 1st of January 2021. Let the scale be 1:1 and drawing number 001. I'm just going to select OK. So now you see how easily it was to fill this, and if you select it, it appears and behaves like a block. So you can just use this particular block in all of your sheets so that it appears organized and well settled. So For example, if you want to use same AutoCAD file format in a different sheet and you want to change the text, it's very easy. You just copy it and select on edit attribute, and you can change whatever you want. For example, if I change the drawing number to say 002 and click on OK, it's going to change this one, and this one is going to remain the same. So that's how easy it is to make block attributes. They make your work much easier, and it makes your sheets look organized and similar to one another. So I guess you understood the block attributes. I'm just going to delete this. The second part that we will be discussing is tables. So there are two ways for tables. One, you can import a table from an Excel file, and the second is how to make your own AutoCAD table. So firstly, I'm going to discuss how to enter your table from your Excel file. So I'm just going to show over here the first option, that is how to insert a table from the Excel file. You can see that you have a small icon over here for tables. You just have to click on this and this insert table bar appears. So if you want to import a table from the Excel file, you just have to have an Excel file. So I'm just going to open an Excel sheet. Just going to click on new. So over here we have an Excel sheet. I'm just going to enter random data. So suppose we have this random Excel table. I'm just going to have to save it. Just Ctrl+S, file name book1, choose a location as desktop, and I'm going to click on save. I'm going to click on OK. Going back to my AutoCAD file, over the insert options, you can see I'm going to select from a data link. And obviously we don't have any data links active, so I'm just going to have to create one. So I'm just going to click on create new data link, and I'm going to name it as AutoCAD tutorial. I'm going to click on OK, and for browsing the file, I'm just going to click on browse the file from desktop. Here we have a book1. I'm going to open this, and over here you can see that we have the link to entire sheet, but we're going to link to a range that is C6 to F11. So we're going to write C6 to F11. Just going to preview this. I think this looks exactly fine. I'm going to click on OK and click on OK again. I'm going to just close this window, and wherever I click on the screen, it's going to just make this table appear whatever it was in the Excel file. So we have this over here and we have this over here. Suppose later we decide to change any of the values. For example, I want to change this 56 to say 100. I'll just change it here. And I'm just going to press on Ctrl+S, and to see this change over here, I'm just going to have to select this, and I'm going to click on download from source. So this value changed on its own. So that's how easy it is to import your Excel file into your AutoCAD sheets. I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to show you another option, which is to make an AutoCAD table from scratch. For that, you just have to go to table, and we need to click start from empty table over here. Over here you can see that there are various columns and row settings. So over columns that we have 5 columns. I guess we don't need 5 columns, we need 4 columns, and the column width is 50, which I think is fine. Data rows, we can see we have 1 data row. Now the thing that to be noted over here is that data rows are exclusive of title and header. That means this particular row is going to be called data row. So for example, if I have 4 data rows over here, 1 2 3 4, the table is gonna be this big. It's gonna include a title row, a header row, and 4 data rows. So that's what the numbering in the data row tells us. Row height, over here you can see lines is written over here. That means how many lines are going to be there in your one cell. So presently it's written as 3. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to show you later when we enter the table what this row height and lines mean. Now how to adjust the size of the rows and the text. Over here you can see the table style and the small icon over here. I'm just going to click this. I'm going to modify this one, and you can see that we have various options that we can change. So for the cell style data, we have alignment as top center. I'm just going to have it middle center over here. I don't know, because it looks good. It's type data over here. The margins are horizontal margins. I'm going to keep them as a 10, and vertical margins I'm going to keep them as 5. So this is basically how they're going to look. I guess these are too big. No, I guess these are fine, but as you can see in our preview, we cannot see we have only 1 data row available over here. That is because we haven't set the margins for our header and title. I'm just going to decrease this just for the sake of it. So over here I'm just going to select, if you want to change the margins and the type of the text for header and title, you just have to change the text style from here to header. Over here you can select the margins again, 5 and a 10. For the title, I'm going to have this 5 and 10 again. You can have different titles and for different headers, but for now I'm just going to have a singular title and 3 headers. I'm just going to click on OK, and I'm going to close this. You can see that we have 1 data row and 5 columns over here. I'm going to click on 6 columns, and I'm going to make this. So that's how our table is appearing over here. About the data row lines, you can see, for example, if I write AutoCAD example 100. So you can see that we can enter only 3 lines in this particular text, no more than 3 lines. So that's what the row height meant. Just going to delete this for now. I'll click on this, and you can see that you can change your various data styles, headers and titles over here. So I hope you understood how a table works over here. I'm just going to enter a new kind of a table. So to create a new style of table, you can just go on tables, and you see we have these already set. Over here, if we go and click on modify, we can change the general alignment, format, type of data, margins. Over here, if you want to change the text, you can change the text style from here. Text height can also be changed, text color and angle can also be changed. You can have slanting text inside your tables. For borders, you can always you can have different kinds of borders. You can either choose to hide your borders. This is just going to hide these data borders. You can choose to have all borders available. You can choose to have some borders, or basic intersections, lower borders. I don't know, you can choose. You have a various options available over here. If you select on this, you will have double lines. That means you are going to have two lines in your in your borders, two lines in your borders and datas. So I'm just going to click that to off. You can have these things for titles as well. You can set your title, header, whatever you want, and you can make the changes over here. For now, I'm just going to close this and click on OK. And over here I have my table. This is a basic table with one row, one header row and one title. So if I select this, you see I have various options available over here. For example, if I just choose this down arrow, I can introduce more rows. If I choose this, I can increase the scaling of this one particular cell. This is used to increase the number of rows, and this arrow is used to increase the spacing of the columns. This one, similar to Excel, can be used to increase or decrease the spacing of one particular column. This one can be used to increase the number of columns. Obviously we are going in this particular direction. To make this down, we're going to have to push this down. If you just select this one cell, for example, and we want to insert another column towards the right hand side of it, we just go to this cell and we click on insert towards right. So another column appears over here. If we go down to this row over here and we want to insert a row below this, so we can just click insert below and a new row would be created. Obviously we're gonna have to extend the length of it for it to come just below this. So we have a lot of options and we can play around with our tables as we want. I hope you understood the tables command in AutoCAD and the block attributes. Thank you for watching. Keep practicing.